Number 1. The 1969 Chevrolet Chevelle. The 1969 Chevrolet Chevelle is one of those classic muscle cars that does not need an introduction. With its aggressive body lines, big block power, and unmistakable presence, this example is listed for $59,999 in Sherman, Texas. The car has 34,972 miles listed and is equipped with a 4-speed manual transmission. Finished in fresh red paint over a black interior, it has the kind of color combination that immediately gives this Chevelle a serious muscle car presence. But the real story is under the hood. This Chevelle is powered by a 498 cubic inch big block V8 featuring Pro Comp aluminum heads, a Holley Sniper EFI system, and a CompCam's Thumper hydraulic roller camshaft. According to the seller, the combination produces more than 600 horsepower. That is a substantial amount of power for a classic street car. Ceramic-coated headers feed into a dual exhaust system, giving this Chevelle the deep and aggressive sound many enthusiasts expect from a serious big block build. Power is sent through an Auto Gear M23 4-speed manual transmission, putting the driving experience directly in the hands of the person behind the wheel. Out back, the car uses a 12-bolt rear end with 3.73 gears, a combination that should provide strong acceleration while keeping the car usable for street driving. The supporting hardware is also worth mentioning. The car has a cold case radiator and an American Auto-Wire wiring harness, upgrades that can help modernize the reliability of a classic muscle car. It also features power steering and power brakes with front disc brakes, which should make the car easier to manage when you're not using all of that big block power. Inside, the Chevelle has a classic black bucket seat interior with a center console and floor shifter. A comfort grip steering wheel completes the driver-focused setup. The car rides on American Racing torque thrust wheels, giving it a classic performance look and an aggressive stance that fits the rest of the build perfectly. So, is it worth the $59,999 asking price? In my opinion, this Chevelle is aimed at a buyer who wants more than just a clean classic body. The combination of a 498 big block, over 600 horsepower, a 4-speed manual transmission, a 12-bolt rear end, upgraded cooling, modern wiring, and a strong visual presence gives this car a serious enthusiast appeal. At the same time, a buyer should carefully verify the engine specifications, horsepower claims, build quality, documentation, chassis condition, and the quality of the restoration and modifications before making a purchase. A car with this much power deserves a thorough inspection. But if everything is as represented, this is the kind of Chevelle that can deliver a very different experience from a mild cruiser. It has the sound, the stance, the hardware, and the power to make every drive feel like an event. At $59,999, this 1969 Chevrolet Chevelle is a serious big block build for someone who wants classic muscle car style with modern performance and enough power to remind you why the golden age of American muscle cars remains so popular today. Number 2. The 1979 Pontiac Trans Am 10th Anniversary Edition. The 1979 Pontiac Trans Am 10th Anniversary Edition is one of the most recognizable special edition muscle cars of the late 1970s. With its distinctive silver appearance and limited edition styling, this Trans Am carries a unique place in Pontiac history. Listed in Olathe, Kansas, for $35,995, this example features the iconic silver exterior matched with a silver and gray interior. The seller says the car has received fresh paint and new graphics, helping restore the appearance that made the 10th Anniversary Edition so memorable. Under the hood is a 6.6-liter, 403 cubic inch V8, paired with a turbo Hydra-Matic 350 automatic transmission. This combination provides the classic V8 character and effortless automatic cruising that many enthusiasts look for in a late 1970s Trans Am. The odometer shows 5,121 miles, although the seller clearly states that the true mileage is unknown due to the car's age. That is an important detail for potential buyers to keep in mind. The listing also includes links to videos of the car, allowing interested buyers to get a better impression of its appearance and operation. In my opinion, the biggest attraction here is the special edition styling. The silver paint, coordinated interior, and distinctive graphics give the 10th Anniversary Trans Am a look that stands apart from an ordinary late 1970s Firebird. At $35,995, The price will depend heavily on the quality of the restoration, the authenticity of the graphics and trim, and the car's documentation. Because the true mileage is unknown, a serious buyer should focus more on the vehicle's actual condition than the numbers shown on the odometer. For someone looking for a recognizable late 1970s American performance car with a special edition identity, this Pontiac Trans Am could be an attractive choice. It has the visual presence, V8 power, and unmistakable personality that continue to make the 10th anniversary edition a favorite among Pontiac enthusiasts. Number 3. The 1969 Chevrolet Camaro RS. The 1969 Chevrolet Camaro RS is one of the most iconic American muscle cars ever produced, and this example combines classic styling with a strong-running V8 and several important upgrades. Located in Chatsworth, Georgia, this Camaro is listed for $58,500. It shows approximately 12,345 miles and features an orange exterior with a black interior. The car has a clear history and is described as having no significant damage or problems. Under the hood is a 350 cubic inch Chevrolet V8 that the seller says has a great sound. The engine is paired with a brand new 400 automatic transmission purchased from Summit Racing, with reportedly only around 150 miles on it. The car also features new wheels and tires, power steering, and working hideaway headlights, one of the signature styling details that makes the 1969 Camaro RS so recognizable. According to the seller, the Camaro has absolutely no rust, including underneath the car. The seats and headliner are also reported to be free of rips and tears, giving the interior a clean and presentable appearance. The seller says this Camaro is ready to drive and enjoy, and the car can potentially be traded as well. The title is in hand, and delivery can be arranged at the buyer's expense after payment. In my opinion, this Camaro has a strong combination of visual appeal and mechanical usability. The orange paint, black interior, RS styling, working hideaway headlights, and rust-free condition give it plenty of classic Camaro character. The fresh 400 automatic transmission is also a major plus for someone looking for a car that can be enjoyed immediately. At $58,500, I would still want to verify the mileage and inspect the quality of the paint and restoration work, but if the car is as clean underneath as the seller claims, this could be a very attractive 1969 Camaro for cruising, shows, or simply enjoying on the open road. Number 4. The 1972 Chevrolet Chevelle. What if you want the iconic look of a classic Chevelle, but with modern LS power and a drivetrain built for more than just Sunday cruising? This 1972 Chevrolet Chevelle, listed at $30,000 in Ottawa, Kansas, is a classic muscle car with a modern performance twist. Under the hood is a 6.0-liter LS engine with a cam upgrade, paired with a 4L60E automatic transmission. That combination is one of the most popular ways to modernize a classic American car. The LS engine offers strong performance potential, while the 4L60E provides an automatic driving experience that is familiar and practical for street use. The car also features disc brakes with a hydraulic boost setup, which should provide a significant upgrade over the braking systems found on many classic cars from the early 1970s. Power is sent through a dual exhaust system with cutouts, giving the owner the ability to change the car's exhaust character depending on how they want to drive it. The exterior is finished in a bold red color, paired with a black interior. The car also sits on 17-inch American racing wheels, wrapped in brand new Toyo tires. That combination gives the Chevelle a more modern stance while still maintaining the aggressive attitude that makes these cars so popular. The seller says the car has approximately 7,000 miles, although the details behind that mileage should be verified by a potential buyer. One thing this Chevelle does not have is air conditioning, so that is worth keeping in mind for anyone planning to use the car regularly during hot summer weather. The seller is offering the car because they have purchased another Chevelle to work on. They also make it clear that they are not desperate to sell and are not interested in low offers or casual inquiries. So, is it worth the $30,000 asking price? Personally, the biggest attraction here is the LS swap. A classic Chevelle with a 6.0-liter LS engine, a cam upgrade, modern brakes, an automatic overdrive transmission, and fresh tires can offer a very different driving experience from a stock example. But with any modified classic, the quality of the installation is extremely important. A serious buyer should inspect the engine installation, wiring, cooling system, fuel system, transmission, suspension, brakes, and overall body condition. At $30,000, the car could be an interesting choice for someone who wants a classic Chevelle that is already modified for modern performance. It may not be the right choice for a collector searching for a factory original car, but for an enthusiast who wants to drive, enjoy, and perhaps continue improving a classic muscle car, this 1972 Chevrolet Chevelle in Ottawa, Kansas, could be a very appealing option. The combination of classic Chevelle styling and modern 6.0-liter LS power gives this car a personality that is difficult to ignore. Number 5. The 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle Malibu. This 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle Malibu, located in Grand Prairie, Texas, is listed for $42,000 and is presented as a fully restored classic ready to enjoy. According to the seller, this Malibu has been totally restored, giving it the appearance and driving experience of a much newer vehicle. Under the hood is a 307 cubic inch V8 paired with an automatic transmission. The car is also equipped with air conditioning, upgraded exhaust and suspension, and a number of new components throughout the build. The restoration reportedly includes new glass, a completely refreshed interior, new wheels, and new tires. The seller says the car looks and drives like new, which is exactly the kind of description many classic car buyers are looking for. Personally, I think the appeal of this Malibu is its balance. It may not be built around an extreme big block engine or a high horsepower racing setup, but the 307 V8 and automatic transmission make it a more relaxed and approachable classic cruiser. The new interior, glass, wheels, tires, suspension, and exhaust should also make it more enjoyable for regular weekend driving. At $42,000, the quality of the restoration will be extremely important. A buyer should carefully inspect the bodywork, paint, floors, frame, drivetrain, and restoration documentation to make sure the finished car matches the asking price. The 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle Malibu remains one of the most recognizable American classics of its era. And with a complete restoration, air conditioning, a V8 engine, automatic transmission, and a fresh interior and exterior presentation, this example could be an attractive choice for someone looking for a classic Chevelle that is ready to cruise rather than waiting for another major project. Number 6. The 1966 Ford Fairlane GT. The 1966 Ford Fairlane GT is the kind of classic muscle car that becomes more interesting the more you learn about its history. This example is listed for $35,000 in Topeka, Kansas, and the seller describes it as being in like-new condition. It is equipped with the original 390 cubic inch big block V8, a 4-speed manual transmission, and a matching numbers S-code configuration. That combination alone gives this Fairlane serious collector appeal. The car also features the Cobra package, along with a Hurst V-Gate 2 shifter, giving the driver a very distinctive manual transmission experience. Up front, there is a fiberglass hood with a functional air scoop, adding to the car's aggressive appearance and giving it a clear performance car attitude. But perhaps the most interesting part of this Fairlane story is its history. According to the seller, the car was originally used for drag racing back in the 1970s. The owner removed the original 390 and installed a 427 Cobra jet engine for racing. After the racing days were over, the original 390 was put back into the car. That means this Fairlane is not just a classic with desirable specifications. It also has a story connected to the early days of American street and drag racing culture. The seller says the car runs and drives well and has a clean title. The paint was reportedly done in the 1990s, so it is not described as a fresh show-quality finish. The seller is straightforward about that, saying the paint is not the best and not the worst. There is also a faint Ghost GT stripe visible along the lower body. And that brings us to the price. The seller believes similar cars in this condition can range from around $30,000 to more than $60,000, depending on condition and presentation. The asking price here is $35,000, with the seller suggesting that a fresh paint job could potentially move the car closer to the higher end of that range. In my opinion, this is an interesting proposition for someone who values originality, history, and mechanical identity over perfect cosmetics. The matching numbers S-code 390, 4-speed transmission, Cobra equipment, and racing history are all major talking points. At the same time, the paint and overall cosmetic condition should be carefully inspected before buying, especially if the new owner is considering a restoration. I would also want to verify the matching numbers claims, document the car's history, inspect the fiberglass hood and its installation, and examine the body and underside for any hidden issues. But at $35,000, this 1966 Ford Fairlane GT could offer an appealing entry point into a genuine big block Ford muscle car with a unique past. It may not be a freshly restored $60,000 show car today, but for the right buyer, that could be part of the appeal. This is a car with real history, real performance hardware, and plenty of room for someone to make it even better. And with its 390 big block, 4-speed manual, Cobra package, Hurst shifter, and drag racing background, this Fairlane has the kind of story that can make ownership just as interesting as the car itself. Number 7. The 1965 Ford Mustang Coupe. The 1965 Ford Mustang Coupe is one of the most iconic classic American cars ever built, and this example has been extensively restored and upgraded for modern drivability. Listed in Verona, Missouri, for $25,000, this Mustang features a classic red exterior, an automatic transmission, and approximately 65,000 miles. The seller describes the car as being in excellent condition with a clear history and no significant damage or problems. Under the hood is a 289 cubic inch Ford the 5th 8, upgraded with a Sniper electronic fuel injection system and a 4-barrel setup. This gives the classic small block Ford a more modern fuel delivery system while retaining the character of the original V8. The car has also received power steering and upgraded power brakes with front disc brakes, making it more comfortable and confident to drive than a completely stock early Mustang. The suspension has been refreshed with new struts and air shocks, while a new exhaust system gives the car a fresh mechanical foundation. Cooling is handled by a new aluminum radiator, and the fuel system includes a new fuel tank and sending unit. Cosmetically, the restoration includes new paint, stainless steel trim, a new interior, and new tires and wheels. The seller also states that the car has no rust, which is always a major advantage when looking at a first-generation Mustang. In my opinion, this Mustang has a strong combination of classic appearance and practical upgrades. The red exterior gives it timeless appeal, while the fuel injection, power steering, front disc brakes, and updated suspension should make it easier to enjoy on modern roads. At $25,000, this car appears aimed at someone who wants a restored Mustang that is ready to drive rather than a project that still requires years of work. A serious buyer should still inspect the quality of the restoration, verify the mileage, and look closely at the body and undercarriage. But if the work is as described, this could be a very attractive and enjoyable classic Ford. Number 8. The 1973 Chevrolet Chevelle SS. The 1973 Chevrolet Chevelle SS is a classic American muscle car that offers a nice balance between traditional performance and comfortable cruising. This particular example has been family-owned for 2 generations and appears to have received several important mechanical upgrades. Located in Austin, Texas, this Chevelle is listed for $28,900. It has approximately 50,000 miles and features a burgundy exterior with a black interior. The car is described as being in very good condition. Under the hood is a newer 350 cubic inch Chevrolet crate engine rated at 330 horsepower, with approximately 6,000 miles on it. The original 350 engine is also included with the car, which could be a valuable bonus for a buyer interested in preserving the original drivetrain. The automatic transmission has been rebuilt and fitted with a street-friendly shift kit, while the rear end has also been completely rebuilt. Power is sent through a 3.08 Posey rear end, giving the car a good combination of cruising ability and traction. This Chevelle is also equipped with air conditioning, including a complete vintage air upgrade, making it more comfortable for modern driving. The entire braking system has been replaced, adding another important improvement for a classic that is intended to be driven. Inside, the car features a traditional bench seat and column-shift automatic transmission, keeping the interior true to the classic full-size muscle car experience. The seller says the car has had 1 respray in its original color and has never had rust, with the original sheet metal remaining solid. The car is described as ready to drive, with the seller even suggesting that a buyer could fly in and drive it home. In my opinion, this Chevelle offers a very appealing package for the money. The newer 330 horsepower crate engine, rebuilt transmission, rebuilt 3.08 Posey rear end, upgraded vintage air system, and completely renewed braking system give it the kind of mechanical upgrades that make a classic much easier to enjoy today. The fact that the original engine is included is another interesting bonus. At $28,900, this could be a strong choice for someone looking for a solid, family-owned Chevelle that combines classic styling with modernized drivability. Number 9. The 1970 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray Convertible. What if you could find a classic Corvette in one of the most recognizable colors of the era, combined with a 4-speed manual transmission and a documented restoration? This 1970 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray Convertible, listed at $55,000 in Belton, Texas, is finished in the highly desirable Mulsanne blue, paired with a matching blue interior. And for anyone who loves blue classic cars, this Corvette certainly makes a strong first impression. Under the hood is a 350 cubic inch V8 rated at 350 horsepower, paired with a Muncie 4-speed manual transmission. That combination gives this Corvette the kind of traditional driving experience many enthusiasts look for in a classic American sports car. The rear end uses a 3.36 gear ratio, and the car is equipped with power steering, making it easier to enjoy on the road while still retaining the character of a classic performance car. The seller reports approximately 84,325 miles, and describes the Corvette as being in excellent condition. The paint and interior are said to be close to perfect, which is especially important on a car with the dramatic lines of the C3 Corvette. This example also features the iconic pop-up headlights, and the seller reports that the exterior and interior lights, clock, and gauges are functioning. The exception is the temperature gauge. The previous owner installed an aftermarket gauge, so that is one detail a potential buyer should be aware of. The car has also received air conditioning service at a classic car facility in Georgetown, Texas. One of the most important details in the listing is the documentation. The seller says the car comes with numbers-matching paperwork from the previous owner to document the restoration. That kind of documentation can be extremely valuable when evaluating a classic Corvette, especially for a buyer who wants to understand the car's history and verify its specifications. The current owners say they have had the Corvette for 5 years and that it runs and drives exceptionally well. They are selling it simply to make room for new projects. So, is it worth the $55,000 asking price? Personally, this Corvette has a very appealing combination of features. The Mulsanne blue color, matching blue interior, 350 V8, Muncie 4-speed, convertible body, and restoration documentation all make it an interesting package. At this price, a serious buyer should still verify the numbers-matching documentation, inspect the frame and body, check the restoration quality, and confirm the mechanical condition during a test drive. But if everything is as described, this could be a very attractive example of a classic C3 Corvette. For someone looking for a 1970 Corvette with strong color, traditional V8 power, a manual transmission, and a documented history, this Mulsanne blue Stingray convertible in Belton, Texas, deserves a closer look. And with its blue paint, blue interior, and classic Corvette shape, this is definitely the kind of car that is hard to ignore. Number 10. The 1965 Buick Skylark Sedan. This 1965 Buick Skylark 4-door, listed in Alpine, California, for $15,000, is the definition of a classic sleeper. From the outside, the green Skylark keeps the understated appearance of an old 4-door Buick. But underneath, the seller has installed a modern 5.3-liter LS V8 paired with a 4L60 automatic transmission. Both the engine and transmission have reportedly been fully gone through, while the car also features an aluminum radiator with dual electric fans and a Phytec fuel injection setup. The build includes a CVF blacked-out pulley system, front disc brakes, new lowered coil springs, and a new fuel tank and sending unit. The seller also says that everything works, including the interior lighting, which has been upgraded to LEDs. Air conditioning is present, but the compressor is currently not hooked up, so that's one area a future owner could address. The car reportedly retains its stock rear-end gearing, which the seller says makes it good for freeway cruising. However, with a set of more aggressive gears, this Buick could potentially become even quicker. Personally, this is exactly the kind of car I find interesting. A four-door 1965 Buick Skylark with a modern LS V8 is not something you see every day. It has the appearance of an old classic family sedan, but underneath, it has the kind of power and drivetrain that can surprise people at a stoplight. At $15,000, this could be an appealing option for someone looking for a fun, unusual classic with modern performance potential. Buyers should still carefully inspect the quality of the LS swap, wiring, cooling system, transmission installation, and overall workmanship. The 1965 Buick Skylark may look like an ordinary old four-door, but with a 5.3-liter LS engine, a 4L60 transmission, fuel injection, upgraded suspension, front disc brakes, and a sleeper-style appearance, this could be one of the most entertaining cars on the list. Number 11. The 1966 Cadillac DeVille Convertible. The 1966 Cadillac DeVille Convertible is the kind of classic American luxury car that brings together enormous presence, open-air cruising, and a fascinating history. This example is listed for $37,000 in Cloverdale, California, and has 59,943 miles showing on the odometer. Finished in red with a matching red leather interior, this Cadillac has a very distinctive look. The seller says the car was originally Strathmore white, but a previous owner painted it red years ago to complement the original red leather interior. The car is described as a barn find and has reportedly had only 2 owners, with one owner having kept the Cadillac since it was just 3 years old. That kind of long-term ownership history is one of the most interesting aspects of this DeVille. The convertible top features a glass rear window and is said to be in very good condition. The power top works properly, and the power windows are also working well. The seller says the car starts without needing any throttle, and that it runs and drives well. However, this is not being presented as a fully restored show car. The paint is described as driver quality, and the seller is open about the fact that the car needs some additional attention to become truly nice. That honesty is important when looking at a classic like this. In my opinion, the appeal of this Cadillac is its combination of low mileage, long-term ownership history, solid condition, and open-top luxury. A 1966 DeVille convertible is already a substantial classic, and the red-on-red color combination gives this example plenty of visual impact. At the same time, a buyer should carefully inspect the body, frame, floors, convertible mechanism, hydraulic systems, and the quality of the older repaint. The fact that the car is a driver quality example means expectations should be realistic. I would also want to verify the mileage and ownership history with available documentation, especially given the seller's claim of long-term ownership and only 59,943 miles. At $37,000, this Cadillac is aimed at someone who wants a classic luxury convertible with a story behind it rather than a perfect concours restoration. For the right buyer, it could be a great starting point. A solid-looking 1966 Cadillac that already runs and drives, has a working power top and windows, and still has plenty of potential for future improvement. The combination of 59,943 miles, a 2-owner history, red leather, a working convertible top, and classic Cadillac styling makes this DeVille a very interesting piece of American automotive history. It may need some love, but that could also be part of the opportunity. With the right attention, this 1966 Cadillac DeVille convertible could become an even more impressive cruiser while preserving the character and history that make it special today. Number 12. The 1962 Ford Galaxie 500. The 1962 Ford Galaxie 500 is a classic full-size Ford with a kind of elegant styling and traditional American character that continues to attract vintage car enthusiasts. This example is listed in Lafayette, Tennessee, for $13,500 or best offer. It features a burgundy exterior, beige interior, and a manual transmission. The car is reported to have approximately 85,000 miles and comes with a clear history. According to the seller, this Galaxie 500 has been fully restored and is in excellent condition. The car is said to run and drive perfectly, with a manual transmission shifting properly. The seller also states that all gauges are working, which is an important detail on a classic car of this age. The car has received new struts and comes with 5 new tires, including a matching spare. A new carburetor has also been installed, helping keep the classic Ford V8 running properly and improving the car's overall drivability. The burgundy exterior gives this Galaxie a very traditional early 1960s appearance, while the beige interior provides a nice contrast. It is the kind of car that can attract attention at local cruises without needing an extreme custom build. In my opinion, the biggest appeal of this Galaxie is the combination of its restored condition, manual transmission, and relatively accessible asking price. At $13,500, it is positioned well below many high-end collector cars, while still offering the classic full-size Ford experience. A serious buyer should still inspect the quality of the restoration, check the floors and frame, and verify the mechanical work before purchasing. But based on the seller's description, this could be a sharp and enjoyable classic Ford for someone looking for a restored early 1960s cruiser at a more approachable price. Number 13. The 1971 Dodge Demon. The 1971 Dodge Demon is already one of the most recognizable compact muscle cars of the early 1970s, but this example takes the classic Mopar formula in a much more serious performance direction. Located in Yorba Linda, California, this Demon is listed for $42,500. It shows approximately 48,000 miles, features an orange exterior with a black interior, and comes with a clear history. Under the hood is a built 408 cubic inch small block engine equipped with Indy cylinder heads and an Indy intake manifold, along with T&D rocker arms. The seller says the car has run a 10.50 second quarter mile, putting this Demon firmly into serious street and strip territory. Fuel delivery is handled by a Holley Sniper EFI system with dual screens and GPS-based speed information. The car also features a Mazir water pump, a Be-Cool radiator, an MSD ignition system, and an MSD 7AL 2-box with a 2-step setup. The transmission is a 904 3-speed automatic equipped with a trans brake and another 2-step system, giving the car the hardware needed for serious drag strip launches. The chassis and suspension have also been heavily upgraded. The Demon features 4-wheel Willwood disc brakes, Caltrax rear traction bars, subframe connectors, and a Ford 9-inch rear end with Posey traction. Inside, the car includes a roll bar with a removable swing-out door bar, 5-point harnesses for both seats, autometer gauges, and a switch panel. A 3-inch Flowmaster exhaust system with coated headers completes the performance setup. The car rides on 18-inch front wheels and 20-inch rear wheels, while a second set of Weld racing drag wheels is included for dedicated track use. In my opinion, this Demon is much more than a simple restored classic. It is a purpose-built street and strip machine that combines a compact 1971 Mopar body with serious modern performance hardware. The 408 small block, Holley Sniper EFI, 904 transmission with trans brake, Ford 9-inch rear end, 4-wheel disc brakes, and reported 10.50 second quarter-mile capability create a very impressive package. At $42,500, this is clearly aimed at buyers who want performance rather than originality. For someone looking for a classic Dodge that can be driven on the street and taken to the drag strip, this Demon could be an extremely exciting choice. Number 14. The 1967 Cadillac Coupe DeVille Convertible. What if you're looking for a classic American convertible with enormous presence, elegant styling, and the kind of road-going character that only a full-size Cadillac can provide? This 1967 Cadillac Coupe DeVille Convertible, listed at $22,500 in Red Bluff, California, is described as a very nice, original driver quality classic. The car is finished in a blue exterior with a matching blue interior, giving it a very traditional late 1960s Cadillac appearance. It has approximately 160,000 miles and is equipped with an automatic transmission. Now, this is not being presented as a freshly restored show car, and that's actually part of the appeal. The seller describes it as an original driver-quality convertible that received a repaint years ago. The body, paint, and interior show normal wear, but the car is said to be holding up well and still gets plenty of attention wherever it goes. And with a Cadillac this large and distinctive, attention is almost guaranteed. The white convertible top operates, although the rear glass is coming loose and one hole has already been repaired. That is something a potential buyer should definitely inspect before purchasing. The car has also received several recent updates, including a new battery, shocks, water pump, and tires. Most importantly, the seller says the Cadillac is driven regularly and is a joy to drive. That is an important difference between a project car and a classic that can actually be enjoyed immediately. So, is it worth the $22,500 asking price? Personally, I think the appeal here is the overall character. This is not a perfect, museum-quality Cadillac, but it appears to be an honest, usable classic convertible with plenty of original charm. At this price, buyers should carefully inspect the body, frame, floors, convertible top mechanism, rear window, paint, and mechanical systems. The 160,000 miles should also be considered, although regular use and proper maintenance can be more important than the number on the odometer. If you're looking for a perfect show car, this may not be the right choice. But if you want a classic Cadillac that you can actually drive, enjoy, and continue improving over time, this example could be very interesting. A full-size 1967 Cadillac convertible offers a completely different experience from a typical muscle car. It is large, comfortable, stylish, and unmistakably American. For $22,500, this blue-on-blue Cadillac in Red Bluff, California, could be an appealing choice for someone who wants a classic convertible with real road presence and plenty of personality. It may show some age, but that's part of the story, and sometimes, an honest driver-quality classic is more fun than a car that is too perfect to enjoy. Number 15. The 1971 Chevrolet El Camino SS Tribute. This 1971 Chevrolet El Camino SS Tribute, listed in Pinole, California, is priced at $28,500 OBO and is described as an extremely clean, highly upgraded classic. The car is finished in white with a black interior and is listed with only 400 miles. Since this is a tribute build rather than a documented original SS, that distinction is important for potential buyers. According to the seller, this El Camino has received numerous upgrades and high-performance parts, although the complete list is included in the flyer shown with the original listing. The seller describes the car as beautiful and extremely clean, with the kind of presentation that should attract attention at local shows and classic car events. Personally, the appeal of this El Camino is the combination of classic muscle car styling and pickup truck practicality. The 1971 body style has a strong presence, and with the right performance upgrades, an El Camino can offer a unique driving experience that is different from both a traditional muscle car and a regular pickup. At $28,500 OBO, buyers should carefully review the complete build sheet and inspect the quality of the upgrades. Since this is an SS Tribute, the value will depend heavily on the condition, quality of the restoration, and the parts used in the build rather than original SS authenticity. The 1971 Chevrolet El Camino SS Tribute may not be a factory original SS. But with its clean appearance, low listed mileage, and extensive performance upgrades, this could be an attractive choice for someone who wants the unmistakable look of a classic El Camino with a more personalized and high-performance character.